Right then, let's make a start with this teardown. I'm going to go to the blank pages as always. I'm going to choose this full width style here. We'll call this spell. So press enter there, creating the new page. And I'm going to select the publish option, and then I'm going to go navigate to my page. So I'm going to publish this, save and close it. Then I go to pages, all pages, and find my page, and then open it up in the live editor. So here's the blank page. Open up the live editor. First I'm going to go through and add in like the typography settings for this, and then put in any scripts as well. You find the scripts linked in this article down below, so I'll work my way through the typography. Okay, so there our typography. We're going to go to page settings now and add in our other scripts. So we go to other scripts for this option and put in our CSS code. Okay, and remember a lot of these pages have a lot of the custom CSS, so make sure you look at the download link below. They're CSS heavy. They've got a lot of CSS controlling things like the images and layouts and stuff. So remember to always copy in that CSS file. Some people have said, they can't do something or something happens. You might find as well that the CSS in this template might conflict another template. If you go and take the CSS and put it into one of your other templates, it might mess up how something else looks. And that's probably because they might have the same class names. You have to go through that and figure that out yourself. So if you're trying to code some styles from this page into another one, you might find that these class names here, like pick one image or row image left or something, and this might clash with another template style. So if you're trying to do something and it's not looking right with another template, that's possibly why. We had a couple of people have asked or posted questions saying something wasn't looking right when they tried to do something. That's why. Layout top, we're going to put the logo left of the nav, so turn that on. This one also uses the extra large footer, so turn that on as well for now. We'll be coming down to that a bit later on. So if I jump back to my Grammarly page, and if I scroll to the bottom, you see they've got this large footer here. So we're sort of creating that similar large section with these links. That's much later on. So we've got in, we need to put our logo in still actually, so I need to put the logo in. And you can't see it there, it's actually white, the logo. You can see it's one of the sample logos that we use. So update that. Okay, that's it. And I now need to put in the actual background. So back into layout, we're going to put in that background color for the header section, which is this turquoisey color. There we go, and I'm also going to add in a row. Let's just check what row we're building here. So we're going to start building this whole entire top section that you see here. We've got the text over on the left, and then we've got the image on the right. I'm going to use a 50-50 or a 2-column layout. Into here, 2-column, insert. We're going to put in our background color. That in for now so I can see what we're working on. Okay, I'm going to start building this section. I've got my text. I'm going to put in some spacing, a headline, a paragraph block, and then with button, probably throw in for ours, we'll be putting in overlay optimizer. So I'm just going to start carrying on with this. So Okay, next I'm going to add in here an Overlay Optimizer button here underneath this text. But first, what I want to do is put in a background image into this row. As you can see, the Grammarly template has got the image over on the right. So I'm going to create the same with this row. So I'm going to open up my row. I'm going to put in this style, which I'll explain in a sec. Then I'm adding in this image here, which is called laptop. You see here laptop half. This is quite a big image, so I'm going to put it in full size and set it to cover and stretch, okay? So you can see here this image, half of it, it's a big image. It's going to center it, but it's cover and stretch. You can see, it's hard to see there, it's transparent here and it's over on that side. It's a big image, about 1100 pixels wide. So this sits the screen over to the right for that image. I'll show you that when you can see it's dropped in there and it sits over on the right hand side. I'll push out for a little bit more, but when we view it on the page, it'll sit like half in that page. So let's save and close the page. We'll just refresh this to see where we're at before I do that button. Okay, you can see it's in there and that's that image. So let's go back in. I'm going to build the Overlay Optimizer button now. Rather than you watching me, I'm just going to go ahead and build that, and then I'll show you all the settings afterwards. Right, so let's jump into this Overlay Optimizer. I've added that in here, you can see. So if I open up the design here, this is the button. So it's a button design one. Here's the button we've styled. The text we've set 19, got the same color font, bold, you can see there. The styling itself, we're using no border, obviously. We're using a background color which is white. Okay, there's the border, styles, the height, width, no radius, and then we've got no drop shadows or anything applied there. Okay, so that's that button. And then if we go into the Overlay Optimizer, we can see the button, the form style I created. I've put in the percentage bar at the top, or the progress bar, sorry, spacer, a separate headline. Again, using the headline element, font is 35, use this style color of the text. It's centered and it's an H1 tag. Okay, I then put in the line underneath, we're just using another smaller headline. 18 pixel font with their color there. Again, H1 tag. We then use this style opt-in form, brought that button color through as well. So if I let it load, if I go back, we're using this style here, you can see that style. And then there's my submit button, again using that same color. Bring up the styling. There's the text. It's 100% width on that one, so you see it's similar style. There's the color, slightly larger on the text, bold font again. So there's our opt-in forms. That's the Overlay Optimizer, and I'm going to carry on. We're going to put some. I started adding some text here. Loved by. You can see on the Grammarly they've got a little quote underneath. So we thought we'd put some logos on ours of just some other brands. So I'm going to put them in now, and I've tweaked this. I've just styled. You see my image is pushed out to the side a bit further. The background image that I had here, you can just see in the bottom right. It's here, just down the right. So if I save and close this, then reload it, it's still in the same place. You see we're gaining more height in this, is pushing it down. As we get further, this will sit just underneath. The line will sit just under that laptop. So let's carry on building the next section. So what I'm going to do here is add in our logos across the bottom. We've got some logos like Slack, Airbnb, and Amazon. I'm going to put these in, but I'm going to use a text block. Now I've done this before in other templates. I use a text block, and we add the one image in at a time. So we create a text block, and we add in. We go into the text block itself, and we choose to add media. I'm going to add in the Slack logo. So let me find that. So it's a white Slack logo like this. and I add it in there, you can see, well, you can't see it because it's white obviously. If I insert it in the page, you can see it appears like this. We're going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to add the rest of them in, and then you can see, I'll just show you what I've done afterwards. So okay, you can now see I've added them all in. If I edit the text block again, bring it up again, because they're all white, you can't see them. So we go into the text. If I highlight, you can just see where they are. See, if I go into the text there, here's the images, you can see them all. One thing is I actually just resized them to like 74:33, and I changed that for them. So if you click on one of these, you get the box comes up, and you can drag the corner to make this big or small, this image. That's what I've done. I've sort of shrunk them all down, made them much smaller. You can see the sizes in here in the text view, 74:75. They're all around 75:33. That's the way I've added them in there. Just resize them to sit them all in. If I close this, they all look nice and neat like that. You can see we've got our 4 logos in. So that's our top header section complete. Let's go on and start building. So on the Grammarly page, you can see as we scroll, the image on the right is changing. You see how they do that? That's nice. Done with CSS. You could do that with CSS if you wanted to spend the time coding it in. We're going down into the next section, which is this area here. So let's add a new row for this. So put in a 1-column row, make it a bit of padding at the top, about 100. A bit of padding at the bottom. Right, now I'm going to put in a featured block using our custom icons. It's going to be a 3-column featured block, and I'm going to do 2 rows of this. So firstly we're going to choose this style design. I'm going to set 3. I'm going to add the first one. Okay, you can see down here I've started finding my icons, and they're all that same color, so I'm going to use those for this featured block area. I'm going to start with this one here. What I'll do is I'll add this first one in, and then I will go through and obviously add the other ones. You don't need to watch me add in the feature block, but you'll see the styling that I'm doing for this one. So if I just put in some dummy text. So as always, I've got all my text over on the right hand side on the monitor, so I can just copy and paste it across. This featured box, what I'll do is I'll just show the styling here. We're going to choose about 20. We'll use my 4D, which was, need to put the pound at the start, hashtag. There's our font. We're going to set this to bold, so this is the headline, and then we're going to copy that, put that underneath. I'm going to insert. So here's my first one. I'm going to go through and do the other 2 along here, and then I'm going to clone this down. I'll copy this down and use my next row, and then edit all the images in that. So I'll just go through and start adding these other ones. So here you have it. I've added in all 3 on the top ones, so I added the other 2, then I copied that down and edited all the images again. So that's that featured block set, put in the dummy text. You can see I've done the first one there, and then I've just put a spacer in as well just to break that up a little bit. Let's save and close. Reload this page. Okay, you can see here now this image at the top as well is looking nice. It's sitting in there. Since we've added this image in with the spacers and things, it pulls that blue background below that laptop screen, so it's sitting nicely there. And here's that section we've now done. Let's jump over to the Grammarly page. You can see they've got a nice little testimonial in here. So we're going to build that testimonial into another row. So back in the live editor. Let's go down, let's add our row in. Now for this I'm going to add, try the 1/3 and 2/3. Let's see how big that one is. For this I'm going to be adding a text, image with text aside, and a text block to get my style. So let's put in our colour. It's got a slight different background colour in there. Okay, so I'm going to go and add text, image aside, choose this one. Okay, so I've added the text image aside. One thing I want to do is get a rounded image here. We have some CSS that does that. And if I just pop that in there, it's pick one image. I just put it in there, and you see it now sets that as round. So that CSS is what we added at the start in the page settings. That gives us that lovely round effect. I'm going to add a text block over here on the right. If we save and close, reload that page. Okay, there we've got our little testimonial in, looking nice and tidy there at the bottom. Let's jump back to Grammarly. Next we have this big headline across, so I'm just going to put in a large headline, and then we're going to sort of drop down, see what else we've got. We've got this section they've done here, so we'll build that next. I'm just going to put a headline in as well here on my page. So I've just added in a simple headline, another row. The row settings, got quite a lot of padding at the top, 0 at the bottom. It's a white background, and I've just put in the headline here. You can see simple headline, default settings are just that same colour. Save and close, reload. Okay, you can see it's showing at the bottom here. I need to create some more spacing to see everything. I'm going to work on building this section now. You see they've got image, headline, text. Got 3 of them across there. It's nice and nicely spaced out. So let's go ahead and build that. And what I'll do again with this one is I'll build the first one and then I'll copy them across. You've seen me do before. I'm just going to add one large row with lots of padding so that when I scroll down it brings up the bottom section closer in the page. You can see what I'm working on. So that's I'm just putting like a spacer in there just so when I'm building the page for you when you're watching. Okay, the next section, let's go and add this 3-column row. The first one we're going to put in an image. Okay, so there's the first one of these. I'm going to clone each of these separate elements across, or I'll copy and I'll start dragging them over here, putting them all in here, and then I'll go through and edit the images. You would have seen I put in that CSS, which is this part here, the pick one again, which gives it that circle. It's the radius, gives it that circle image effect to that square. Although the image is square, the CSS makes it rounded. So I'm going to do the rest of these, so carry on working through. Okay, now you can see that section done. We'll save and close, and then we'll reload that up. And hopefully I'll be able to scroll up a bit higher now. So here you go, look, it's in here. A bit of padding probably to add in there, space that out a bit. But you can see that section. I can scroll up now. I've got that big spacer at the bottom as well. So that's that 3 section done. And I think we'll clone that again and put in another section underneath here. At Grammarly's, then we sort of drop down into this bottom section. So I'm going to put another one of these. Okay, there you have it. We've got another section. What I've done is I've cloned the row from the top and then went through and edited all the images and the text individually again. So we now have a sort of 6 section here. Great place to highlight benefits and things of your products that you're using. So there you go, there's that section done. Let's start building the next part, which will be this. They've got a nice little testimonial, then they've got this row across here. So this testimonial for me, I'll clone down the one I've already made, and then we'll put a row in here. So let's go back in. I'm going to clone this testimonial down into here, and then I'm going to put a full row in. Okay, so I've added in the testimonial and I've just changed the name and the image there. Next we're going to add in another full row with the background image. So here's the row, and I'm going to set this to tile. So there's our image tiled across there. Let's reload that page, see how it's looking. There you have it. We've got the testimonial, then a background row across there. Next we're going to build this section with the social icons and the headline text button over there. So let's go into the live editor. And we'll add a new 1/3 and 2/3 row. Okay, so you can see that I added in the first one, cloned it again, just tweaked the font here, so this is just an image with text to the side of it. Now we're going to put in our headline, a text block, and we'll bring in our overlay optimizer. So we're building this section here with the text and the button. So we're going to do that on our page here. So this will be a headline. Right, so I've built the headline in there, I've put the headline, put my text block, and I cloned down the overlay optimizer from above. So I took the same one we created here and brought that down and tweaked the button color so it stands out on that white background. So I've got this blue color here. If we save and close this, we reload that page, should be looking good now. It's starting to take shape. There you have it. There's our section like there. You could go a bit bigger even on this headline. Let's have a look, but it's starting to lay out. Might put some more spacing in there. You can see it's starting to look good. So the last bit will be going into the footer. Like if we go to Grammarly, they've got this large footer, so they've got text links. They've got 5 columns. So we're going to build a similar footer section to theirs. So let's go back in the live editor. If we scroll on down, this section here you see is our large footer. You've got these 2 areas here. So I'm going to delete this row. This was the row I added for extra spacing. And then in here, I'm going to add in a 5-column row. And from here I'm going to start putting in my headlines. So I'll do the first one. It's okay, so you can see there what I've done. I've added in a link text. Now I'm going to add in probably 6 or so down this side and some in the middle and some on the other side at the end. So I'm going to clone everything I've done here. I'll be cloning these, dragging them across into this one, copy it again, or clone it again, drag it across, and so on. Let's give this a background color as well, this row. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'll clone all these across. I'll work through that, you haven't got to watch me. So we've added them all in there. If I save and close this page and reload this, here you can see we've got our links across the bottom. I've added these using the hyperlinks. I've put some more in, but that's our footer section. So there you kind of have it. We have the full page complete, pretty much a quick teardown, really like Grammarly is using a lot of the default stuff included and some nice little custom CSS tweaks with the rounded images. But a lovely layout, breaks up the layout. Probably need a little bit more spacing here. We could increase this padding slightly on this row just to open up that image a bit more. There's this Grammarly is a bit thicker. I think it needs to be a little bit wider, so we'll probably increase that a little bit. As always, this template is available in the Clubhouse. We put this template available in the Clubhouse, and there might be some other few little tweaks that I add. Mostly it's just spacing. things like trying to get the alignment slightly different between different text, like this headline, maybe adding some more spacing in there, softening maybe the title, some of the headline titles. If we go, let's look at the top here, yeah, just adding a bit more spacing. It's a slight background color here, you should see. It's pretty, just little things, tweaking it really, but it's pretty much there. That's it. There won't be other elements added and things like that. It'll just be tweaking the final things, like adding more spacing, creating a bit more white space, making it a bit easier to read and see. But there you have it. There's the complete teardown. It's done. You could obviously tweak this with loads of different ways. You could put in the little fixed navigation scrolling nav that we've done on one of our other teardowns. So when you scroll down, you've got that navigation comes at the top. But there you have it. It's not hard to see a page, get some inspiration, and then put in the same sort of style and design and layout using OptimizePress. The flexibility there allows you to really customize and sort of style a page off something else you've seen, and get some good styling ideas. The way you put these social icons here and then text on the right, just get some inspiration from other sites. So there you have it. That's it done. That's that Grammarly teardown, or the spell teardown page. Again, this is available in the Clubhouse to download. It does go into our marketplace eventually, but initially it goes in our Clubhouse for our club members to go and use this and start using it in their business. But that's it. Thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next teardown.